lots of criminals around. Oh my god. The assumptions about being disabled is crazy. I don't go outside anyway because I have migraines nearly every day, so I will say I'm pretty stuck in the house a lot of the time, but that has nothing to do with that. Oh dear. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. That's not my intention. It was just kind of a funny statement. Flash titties, not lights. Exactly. Robin's got the right idea. What's the dirt in the basement for? What? We don't have a base. That'd be a scary thing to discover under your house when you've already lived there for a while, is that you have a secret basement. As far as I'm going to revise my statement. As far as I'm aware, I don't have a basement. I hope not. If I did, I'd be surprised. I feel like basements in the UK are kind of a dangerous thing unless they've been really well made, though, because we have so much flooding and water and stuff. So unless it's really well made, I feel like the basement would just be a mess. There could be lights from a party that you so happen to go past, or going in a car. So with people with flashing light aversions, it's normally not that flashing lights exist. It's normally that you have a light specifically flashing into your eyes. So for instance, someone holding a torch up to your face and being like on, off, on, off, on, off. That's it in your whole vision. So it's normally that level of flashing lights, which is what Dead by Daylight has. It's normally not something in the distance. It has to be like a big enough flash. Like lightning can do it, fireworks can do it, but it needs to be a big enough flash that it's like taking up the majority of vision for most people. Now that's not everyone, and there are people that will find smaller flashes bad for them, but most of the time, because otherwise, by what your logic is, Joe, people with epilepsy can't leave the house, which is like, or photosensitive epilepsy can't leave the house, which is like, yeah. Police lights, yeah, so police lights could do it, but you know what? They normally have a siren, which means you know they're coming. So again, if I'm about to have a police siren come straight at me, I'll normally know about it ahead of time, because you can see them in the distance and you can see them coming towards you. But yeah, no, most disabled people can leave the house because, funnily enough, society has some things like, some things in it that mean that we're protected. This is kind of why sometimes I don't like bringing up the whole disability stuff on stream, because you do get some kind of weird assumptions made about you. I will correct them and I don't mind it most of the time, but like, yeah, no, disabled people can and do leave their homes. Yeah, people with light aversion can and do leave their homes. It is quite literally assault to go up to someone and flash a light in their face. So like, yeah, funnily enough, people don't normally do that, and if they do, you can have them arrested because that is assault. And I think it's actually a more serious charge than assault, if memory serves, because it's assault. It's something else as well, but I can't remember what it is. Whatever it is a pretty intense criminal offense to do that to people. And the only thing I would say in society that isn't particularly well built around people with flashing light aversions are those goddamn bicycles which flash whenever you pedal on them. They are a problem, and you only normally see them in cities, to be fair, but like, those, I hate them. Those are a legit issue, and they have made me feel very sick many, many times. But outside of that, no. Most of the time, if it's got a really large flashing light, and the other thing is, you might, again, everyone's different. Most of the time though, I find flashing lights to be much worse in a dark night. So like, a police car with all of its sirens going is a lot more of an issue at night than it is during the day. Because in the day, the lights are not quite as bright unless they are shining right at you. Like, it's not really an issue, but at night, it's pretty bad. But again, I have migraines in the evening. I'm not going out at night. Oh dear. My apologies, I don't mean to be ignorant about it. No. I mean, I think probably my advice would be, before assuming that somebody doesn't leave the house, you could do a little bit of a Google. Just because a lot of, otherwise it's like, if I didn't know you already, I'd probably be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, if this was our first conversation and you said something like, well, then you can't leave the house, I'd be like, what? It just comes across as like maybe a little bit aggressive. Whether you intend it to be or not, it's an aggressive statement of like, ah? like a lot of assumptions made. It's a bit different when it's people that I've talked to before though. But it's why I often don't bring it up, because it's like, do I fancy fielding these kind of questions today? Nah. It's targeted assault. It's targeted assault. It's something else as well though. And I cannot, it's like, it's along the lines of, it's one of those ones with like assault with intent to harm, and there's a disability thing in there as well. It's basically, it's like a tiered assault.